What's up, everybody? Hello. Welcome back to another Friday night and another edition of this show, which is the Skeptical Help Bar. The bar is now open. I am your bartender, Kenny Biddle, and I hope everyone's doing good tonight. I am trying desperately to share this on different platforms. There we go, so I can get it out there. But let's see. Let's jump right in. Wow, we got some people already. This is great. I love it. I love seeing everyone. All right. So tonight, let me go through the rules first. Let me go through the rules because we do that every show just in case you're a newcomer to it. What's up, Bob? Let's see. So rule number 1, we are open to paranormal related questions. So this is a Q&A kind of thing. Every week I do this Q&A. It's open to paranormal related questions. You ask paranormal related questions and I give you in return a skeptical opinion. My skeptical opinion. Not every skeptical opinion, but mine. And rule number 2 is that I don't know everything. This should be painfully obvious with some of the stupid shit that I do sometimes. But yes, I don't know everything. So if you ask a question, I hopefully will have an answer, maybe an opinion. But if I don't, I am okay with looking it up. I'm okay with saying I don't know. And we will go from there. Maybe we'll both learn something. Maybe I'll learn something. Maybe you'll learn something. This is a learning show. It's all about education. Rule number 3 is that this show is about Q&A, discussion, and drinks. I have my specialty. It's not in the container because I didn't get the stop. This is a homemade version, which is much stronger. We'll see how that plays out. But it's friendly. This is a friendly show, professional, courteous, whatever. We are open to discussion from people from all kinds of backgrounds and different beliefs and stuff. So no fighting. And the bottom line is don't be a dick. I think those are 3 simple rules. So the theme tonight, which, we follow sometimes, but not all the time. The theme tonight is going to be anomalies in photos and video. So in addition to normal questions that you guys might have, so feel free to jump in the chat room. If you're watching this on I Am Kenny Biddle page or the WLFE-DB radio network page, then the comments should come in. If you're looking at this on my personal page, which I did share it to, the comments might not come in. So come on over to one of the other pages. But the theme tonight is about anomalies in photos and videos. So if you have a photograph that you'd like a skeptical opinion about, or just another opinion about, you don't know what's in the photo, you don't know what's in the video, it's an anomaly, whether it's a ghost, maybe it's a UFO, or like a Bigfoot or something like that, feel free to share it. I don't know if it'll show up on the chat that I have in here, but I do have my Facebook page open on the other screen, so I will be checking it out every couple seconds and seeing what's going on. Let's see. You like the minion? Where's the minion? Can you see the? Oh, you can see the minion over there. Okay. There's been some rearranging going on in here. Some items have been moved around and or out to make room for other items and other projects that might be going on. What's up, JD? What's up, Tammy? Good to see everyone. Hey, Eric, how are you? So, again, if you have a picture or a video, feel free to post it on the I Am Kenny Biddle page. I'll be checking that. That's where I'm going to be checking most of it. Or you can send it to me directly. If we're friends on Facebook, just send me a message. It should pop up, and I'll be able to take a look at it. And I should be able to share the screen so you'll see what I'm talking about. But other than that, you can ask me any other questions, paranormal related. I see Joe Downey is in the room, so we're going to avoid the Star Wars questions and Back to the Future questions. Joe, I'm looking right at you. Right at you. Hey, Darren. So again, feel free to jump in with some questions. I know it takes a little bit to get us going. Once we start, see people come in and put their questions up or think about questions or come up with questions. So it's all cool. I have announcements that I can get to and go through. Let's see. There's a top secret project in the works. If you've been following my page, that's all I can tell you about it. I can't tell you anything else about it or anything more about it, but it's a top secret project. And some of you might know, but I'm so excited. I can't even tell you. I'm so excited. I want to, but I can't. So that's all I'm going to do. That's a big teaser. That's like the ultimate teaser trailer, I think. Yeah, because I gave you no information whatsoever about it. But I got you kind of excited, and you're wondering. You're curious out there. I know you are. So does everyone have a drink? Let me know what you're drinking tonight. I am drinking, let's see, I have some homemade lemonade and iced tea mixed with Kraken. Yummy. Joe says, as long as Leia stays in the shot. Yes, Leia will always be in the shot. Always. And it's, you know what? It's kind of like, I got to position it a little bit better or make the banner thinner. Because if I take the banner off, then you can see her better. You can see her face. But with the banner on, then it looks like I'm just, being a pig. So I apologize for that. Tammy asked, did Zach sign my shirt? No, this is a shirt I made, and you can't see the bottom unless I move back. So it says, I visited Zach Baggett's Haunted Museum. It wasn't, because I did visit the museum, and it was not haunted at all. Let's see. JD's got a Diet Coke with lime and Kraken. Nice. Good choice. Hey, Kat. You got strawberry margarita. Nice. Darren has iced tea and amaretto. All right. Very cool. Very good. I hope everyone's enjoying this Friday night. I know I am. So until I get some questions, because this is a Q&A, it's going to be a short show if there ain't no questions. If there ain't no cues. Let's see. So I have some events coming up. Things are starting to get back to normal, like slowly get back to normal. So the next conference that I have is actually coming up July 24th to 26th, and that's in Gettysburg. It's the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, and I'll be there. I have a table, so I will be setting up my physical Skeptical Help booth that I built that will go up, and we will have some fun. I'm looking forward to that. It's always a good time. I've been there two or three times now, and I love it. I have a great time. Do I still have the trophy? Oh, here's the trophy I won last year. This was for the dance contest that I won. So awesome time. Love it. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Kat says, you still can't see your face. Well, because of the, is that because of the live button? I'm looking at the screen. I see the live and the counter up there, so it might not see your face. Sorry about that. But I love Leia. No drinking. Eric says no drinking, but got some sticky pineapple. Ew. What the hell? Let's see. Bob. Let's see. Bob says, I was going to share a picture from Eastern State Penitentiary, but Facebook deleted my whole Eastern State photos. The album title is still there, but the pics are gone. Still looking in folders. I have not given up yet. Wow. I haven't had that happen before, but I have a lot of photos on there. I have a lot of shit on there. So I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I hope you can find it. I hope you can find your backup. And if you don't find it during the show, it's cool. Just send it to me afterwards, and we'll take a look at it, and we'll see what we see. Hey, Peter, how you doing? Peter says, what are your thoughts on the use of Flir on ghost investigations? That's a good question. That's one of the topics on my notebook that I have, that I need to address, that I need to write an article about. So let's get into that. I'm glad you asked that question. So the use of Flir, which is forward-looking infrared cameras. So it sees temperature. It's looking at the infrared heat or infrared signature that's coming off of objects. So it's measuring heat. And one of the biggest things that I see is the use of the color scale. So when you're looking at, if you're watching one of the ghost hunting shows and they're showing the footage, usually if you see on this side of the screen will be a color scale. Sometimes they cut it out. I've noticed that in older shows, when they really started using them, they cropped out that that scale. But in the later shows, sometimes they would keep that scale in there, but they would cut out the temperature readings. So you'd have the minimum and maximum temperature that it was actually reading. And now recently I've seen that they actually put it in there, which is great because you can actually see what kind of temperature is being read. And I noticed like I did a review this past weekend with the New York City Skeptics. we did a watch along where we watched the episode of Ghost Hunters where they were at the airfield. They were at an air base. I forget the name of it. Winfield. I forget the name. I'm not going to try and butcher it, but they were there. They used it, and I was making note of it because we would pause as we were watching it. And when that particular segment came on, we paused the video and we talked about it because the temperature scale, they kept using descriptions, like the ghost hunters in the show were using descriptions like, oh, look at this, this thing is white hot because white is the hottest. But when you describe things as white hot, like to me, my first thought is like taking out metal from a forge, where the tip is white hot. Or when I used to do welding projects and you got white hot metal, that's fucking hot. But the scale that they were using, and I think, do I have my notes? I had my notes here somewhere. But the scale that they were using, it was only like a 14-degree difference between the hottest hot that it was reading and the coolest cool that it was reading. So you have to pay attention to that scale because it adjusts. I had an opportunity when I was at Fort Mifflin to actually play with one and realize that they calibrate as you move it. So when you move it around, it calibrates to the scene that it's looking at now. So if you point it like at the camera here, if I was pointing it towards you, it would calibrate and read the entire scene that it sees and give me a scale. But if I turned it this way, it would calibrate to that scene and redo the scale. So that's a big deal. That is a big deal because it can change anywhere from like 5 degrees to maybe 40 degrees. And that's a big difference. You really have to pay attention to that because, like if they say, oh, there's a cold spot there, it might only be like 2 degrees colder than something else. Or if there's a hot spot, the white hot, it might only be 2 or 3 degrees hotter than the ambient temperature in the room or something else. And I mean, you can get that from simply like putting your hand on a bench or a seat. If you sit down for all of like 10 seconds and then get up, you change the temperature drastically enough that it would show up a completely different color on that scale. Hey, Jason. So yeah, it's one of my thoughts on using it. I think it's a cool gadget. It makes for entertaining TV, but I think that the way you see them being used, especially on ghost hunting shows, it's useless. Especially because they don't use it with another visible camera next to it. Now, I've seen some setups where it looks like they have a visible camera next to it, and they quite possibly do, but the problem is they don't show that footage. We don't see the side-by-side of the thermal camera and the visible lights camera looking at it so we can determine what something might be. We only see the thermal image or the thermal video, and you're left with like a color blotch, and you can't see any detail. There's no detail whatsoever except a color, and it's kind of a general color. It's not a detailed color thing. So I think they should not be used by ghost hunters because I don't think they understand how it works. I don't think they understand the results, how to interpret the results. I think there's a lot of anomaly hunting possible with FLIR cameras when it's used for ghost hunting. I think there's a lot of opportunity for mistakes and misinterpretations and just anomaly hunting. And anomaly hunting is defined by me as just looking for anything unusual, and then that's it. That's a ghost. That's supernatural. That's so-and-so, that's unexplained or unexplainable. 2 terms that are often interchanged but mean different things. So I hope that answered your question. That was a great question, Pete. Thanks for asking that. I appreciate it. Let's see. Jason says, "Hey, Captain Kenny." Hey, what are you drinking, Jason? I should put these comments up on screen too, because I can do that. I have that technology. Darren says, "Trivia question for the group. On a laser thermometer, what is the function of the laser?" Kenny, give him a chance to guess. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see. Justin Brown. Hey, Justin. How you doing? A lot of people don't realize the FLIR cameras only measure and give a visual representation of surface temps. Wow, I'm not even buzzed yet. In order to image something with it, it has to have a certain mass. That's why firefighters use it to see through smoke. Water vapor and CO2 absorbs IR as well. Yeah, I mean, when I did research on, I was doing a project for a local place called Bolton Mansion, and there's part of the history is that somebody came in I think the 70s and did infrared photography. So I was looking into infrared photography back then and realized that the military used it a lot because it saw through the clouds, it saw through hazes, so you could get a decent picture of the ground from aircraft using infrared film, which makes it for great. I mean, when you're trying to spy on your enemy, you can hide in the clouds, but they can't see you, but you can see what's going on the ground. That's pretty ingenious. So, but good one. Thanks, Justin, for contributing that. I appreciate it. Let's see. He also adds, Justin adds, most figures imaged on TV see anomalies caused by outranging the image's capabilities. Oh, I think, you mean like the sensor capabilities. I think it overrides them, because I have seen it where there's a lot of examples where you can see, like, especially on the TV shows, where the cameras just focus on something and you don't see anything, and all of a sudden you see like that, something like that, and just waving your hand in front of it like that could cause a bleached out or washed out image to come up, and I used to call it overclocking, but overrides the sensor because it does too much. It's too much for it to see, so it freaks out for a second. Unfortunately, ghost hunting shows usually take that as a sign of, paranormal activity. So don't get me started on that. But awesome. Thank you. Keep going, Justin. Add more, because it sounds like you've used this a lot. I have only used it a few times, and I haven't actually had one in my possession for a long period of time to use, but I have observed how they're being used by certain teams, a lot of local teams, and I don't think I don't think they should be using them, because I think it's just creating anomalies for them to promote or say, hey, look, we got this weird thing. And that's kind of, I get the idea behind it, but you're promoting this idea of, you don't know what the fuck you got, but yet you're giving that impression that it's something supernatural or paranormal or something like that. So but that's pretty much with all the equipment that he used. Let's see. Jason, how you doing? Oh, you say you're just getting over symptoms of COVID. Hoping it's not, so no beverages for me tonight. Oh, so were you diagnosed, or was it just the symptoms and you think you might have had it? I hope you feel better, though. Rum, I hear, rumor says rum cures a lot of stuff, or helps you not care if you have something. So maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Darren says a FLIR will not show an object through glass. It will show the temp of the glass. On Ghost Hunters last week, they showed a shape of a person on the second floor window from the ground. It was a reflection of the external window temp. I agree too. I have heard that. Again, I haven't tried it, but I do believe, yeah, that's how they're made. That's how they work. They read surface temperature, so they don't go through it. They read the surface temperature. So if it's glass, they read the surface temperature of the glass. And I believe metallic objects are reflective. I do believe, again, I haven't gone into, or when I was researching it, it was quite some time ago. So I'm a little rusty on that. But I do believe metallic objects can cause a reflection. I'm not sure about that. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. So if I'm wrong, then show me some supporting evidence because that's how I roll. Let's see. Justin. Oh, Justin says, what I meant was using a Flir to film down a hallway and get that purple figure because the Flir has a limited range distance. The IR can reflect off a surface and provide the sensor with info. Okay. The IR can reflect off the surface. Okay. Let's see. Justin also adds that's also correct. And what ghost hunters get wrong. Thank you. I think you're talking to me. So I hope that was me. But yeah, I've seen them used and I see people get excited. And this is why I haven't talked about this much before. Like I don't use the term anomaly hunting much, but I have used it once in a while. But that's what I see these ghost hunting shows. I don't like watching them, so I don't watch them much. But when I do, when I'm forced to watch one of these shows for like an article that I'm writing or a review that's coming up, I see they get excited over any little anomaly, anything that's strange or doesn't appear to be normal in their interpretation. Then it's usually deemed or promoted, especially in commercials, as paranormal. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Figure it out. One of the big problems with these shows, or anytime you see these kind of things used, is that it's instantaneous validation. Instead of actually taking the time to, figure out what might have caused it or review anything, it's instantaneously, it's said, okay, this is a ghost. It's got to be haunted here. There's no research, there's no analyzing data, there's no filtering out bullshit or false positives. There's none of that. Ugh, shit. It pisses me off when I see that kind of stuff. Justin says, any shiny surface can reflect the IR. I've seen metal doors and lockers reflect Flir images. I believe it was another Ghost Hunter episode, like the old series, where I think Grant walked into a room, he was holding it, and he pointed it straight at a metal locker, and he caught his own reflection, and then freaked out. And they tried to say it was some kind of like military person because of the hat, but it was him. So yeah, I think, yeah, I don't like the use of Flir. I have been. There was a team, New Jersey. Oh my God, they're gonna be pissed off because I can't get their name right, but it was a New Jersey ghost hunting group that let me use it. One of their members had one, and she let me play with it all night, which was fun. It was fun. I learned a lot. I put a lot of stuff in perspective because I was like, shit, this recalibrates all the time. Everywhere I point it in different direction, it recalibrates. So it doesn't stay stable. It's constantly changing. So that color scale is really, really important. Let's see, Jason spoke to my doctor, waiting for a test kit. Okay. Well, I hope you're okay, and I hope you get better quickly. Let's see, Darren, i.e., quote, it is a capital mistake. Oh my God, I love this quote. It is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. Insensibly, one begins to twist facts to suit theories instead of theories to suit facts. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Sherlock Holmes. Love that. Exactly. I mean, that needs to be on a t-shirt that I would wear. Because I mean, that's it. You need all the data. You need the data before you can come to a conclusion. Because if you don't, you start making shit up. You start thinking, you start relying on your own beliefs, falling back on your beliefs and your ideas, especially if you came into a place thinking, oh, this is haunted. I've read stories. I know there's ghosts here. We even have their names and stuff. So anything weird that happens, we're going to attribute to a ghost. Darren follows up with, that is TV show logic. I agree. It's TV show logic. It's because it's entertainment. They think they can get away with just doing whatever they want. And unfortunately, like, I hear this argument a lot. It's a theory. Oh my God. So I hear the, totally lost my train of thought with that one. I totally lost you. Darren, you threw me off. You threw in, it's a theory, and it just threw me off totally. So I'm going to move on to the next question. Let's see. Justin says, question, is there a legitimate application for infrared lighting and cameras, or what ghost hunters call full spectrum, while trying to image ghosts? I like that he put in full spectrum in quotes. I like that because I've always had a problem with that. It's because it's not full spectrum. It's slightly more spectrum than previously, because it only lets in a little bit more. I mean, you go to your sensor's capabilities, full capabilities, which is a range that I forgot. I think it's between, I want to say 350 and 1200 nanometers. I would look it up just to make sure. But so your question is there a legitimate application for infrared lighting and cameras, or what ghost hunters call full spectrum? See, I don't know if there is. I really don't think there is yet. I think it became a novelty because the idea of, hey, you know, like, well, when night vision came out, when Sony introduced their night shot, that was a game changer because it could see in the dark. I mean, it still needed some light. It needed infrared light to work. So it still, I mean, total darkness, they were useless. They still couldn't see. It still needed infrared illumination, but it gave ghost hunters the idea that, you know, you could see into a different spectrum, and it would translate, the camera would translate the infrared spectrum into a visible spectrum so we could see it and interpret it. But there's no legitimate reason why we started using it, except for this is cool, we can see in the dark. I mean, that's what I've come up with. That's it. And oh my God, as Darren points out, and see-through clothing in some cases. Yes. I mean, that was a problem. I did address that. I did a video, which is posted on my YouTube channel. I did a video exploring full spectrum cameras, and I get into night shot and the fiasco with the seeing through clothes. It's interesting, but getting back to your question, Justin, I mean, I don't think there's any legitimate reason why. I mean, sure, it's nice. You can do the thing where you say, well, I just want to try it. I want to see it, you know, and we now have years worth of footage of ghost hunters filming in the dark and capturing nothing, you know, good, because one, they don't have controls on the area. They don't have controls to guard against other people walking around, shadows. They don't understand how the light works. That it's still sometimes these cameras do pick up visible light still, and infrared light. And because you can't see infrared light sources from other people, it's kind of hard to distinguish what's going on. I've seen videos where people have gone through buildings that still had electricity, and the surveillance, they had surveillance cameras, which gave off infrared light, which was causing lens flare. But the people walking around in the dark, not paying attention to their LCD screen, didn't realize that they were filming around these cameras, these security cameras that were in place. So they were getting this lens flare from the infrared, not realizing it was coming from the cameras. So there's the issue of that. You have to understand where the light's coming on. You have to know what's going on in the environment. And clearly this doesn't happen, especially with ghost hunting shows. But in most cases, it's a case of, and this is going to sound mean to ghost hunters, but it's a case of, oh, it's good enough. And it's unfortunately it's not, because they go in to set up their what they call an investigation, and there are no controls to, you know, try to control the situation, the environment, to see what's going on, and they just start filming. So whatever you get is what you get, and there's no way to validate what you get on film. So I hope I answered your question. I hope that satisfied your question. So basically, no, I don't think there's a legitimate reason, none that I know of yet. And I mean, I'm happy if somebody can send me some kind of, you know, research paper or something that says otherwise. Then please, by all means, you know, send it to me, and I'll read it over. Because and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know, I don't mind saying I'm wrong. I'm pretty good at that, because I'm wrong. I'm wrong sometimes. So let me get to the rest of these. Let's see. Jason doesn't think those cameras are good. Let's see. Oh, Jason says, what's the worst form of paranormal trickery equipment? Equipment you've stumbled across. So are you, well, paranormal trickery and then like equipment, I'm two different things. So I don't know if that was like a mistake or if you're like equipment, like what kind of bullshit equipment is out there. So let me know, just clarify just a little bit and then I'll get back to that question because that's a good one. We can get into that. Darren says it would be so much easier to investigate during the day. I agree. I don't know why more people don't. I investigate during the day. When I actually see it necessary to come out into a site, I do it during the day. I want to see what I'm doing. I want to see what's going on. I want to see the details. I want to see where everybody is, what's going on. I want to see everything. So I don't understand why they don't schedule it for like the weekends and just investigate during the day. Why wait till the nighttime? I don't know, because you're just making it harder for yourself. So I don't get. Oh, let's see. JD, message me. I just messaged you a picture from a local ghost hunting group's Facebook page showing anomalies. Okay, let me look. Let me see. Looking up. There's my inbox. Let me see what comes up. I switched over to the dark mode on Facebook, so it takes a little bit. Let's see. All right, I'm going to share the screen here so you guys can see what's going on. You don't need the audio. So this is what we're looking at. Let me see. Oh, not this one. That one. See if I can blow it up. Bring it in screen a little bit. Okay. Hopefully everybody can see that. Hey, Linda. Hey, Ted. Let's see. Oh. I don't see. This looks to me like a full spectrum camera just because of the colorization of it. It's got that purple tint because you can, once you go full spectrum, you don't go back. No, sorry. That was a bad joke. But what I'm seeing here, like the cameras that I've modified into full spectrum, depending on the settings, you can get either like a hot pink kind of overall tint of the image, all the way through a very dark red to a purple, like a bluish red purple kind of color, which is what this looks like. So I'm kind of guessing this is what I'm looking at. I'm not sure, but I also see evidence of motion blur. So if you see, oh, you see my cursor. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. So right here, whatever this is, looks to be a solid object, but it's blurred. It's not sharp. It's not in sharp focus. Even the bricks, these look like either bricks or cement wall back here, or maybe like wood paneling. But even these are very fuzzy. And you might think, okay, maybe that's because it's a depth of field, because it's a little bit further back, so it's not in focus. But these have this looks like motion blur. So it kind of looks like the camera wasn't held steady, and it gets that little kind of the shimmy back and forth, and that's what happens because the flash wasn't used. It might have been another IR light that happened. So they probably were using an infrared light, but they definitely didn't use the flash on the camera. So this might be a screen cap from a video. So that's pretty much what I mean. I don't know. Is there like a ghost in here? I'm not sure what they're looking at because I don't see anything unusual here. Nothing unusual. But good. I mean, thanks for sharing that. I don't see anything in here. I don't know what they're saying about it. It doesn't say. There's one comment, but there's no caption. So I don't know what they're looking at. But that's cool. I'm going to leave that up on screen until I see if I can get any more information from you. Let's see. Oh, Jason, bullshit equipment. Okay. Spirit box. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing, let me go back up to your question here then. Wait. Okay. So what's the worst form of trickery with paranormal equipment that you've stumbled on? stumbled across. So I would say, let's see, paranormal equipment. Well, top of the thing is like anything from Steve Huff. Anything from that fucker is just like useless. It's overpriced, useless pieces of shit. So for trickery, yes, because he's also been shown to use known audio clips and passing them off as EVPs. You can go do searches, and there's people that have compared it back and forth. I don't trust that. That's like flat out answer. That's my answer. Final answer. Boom, hit the button, the buzzer. That's it. No deal. That's my final answer on that one. So, but good question. Let's see. What's up? Ted says, "Ha, know it all. Love you." Whatever, Ted. Teddy. Oh, let's see. Justin says, I have been filming with IR cameras with modded lenses, internal IR filter removed for 7 years, and have not captured anything I would dare claim being a ghost. I've been shooting too. Like I used to modify the compact cameras, the little ones, and then I recently modified one of my DSLRs. So never ever caught anything strange except what I knew I was doing. Like I knew the motions I was doing. I knew the settings that I had, so I knew what I was going to capture, and I captured exactly what I thought I would. So I agree with you, Justin. Let's see. Going through here, Darren, I don't know, you just said Spirit Box, and yes, they suck. So I guess you're answering Jason's question. I totally agree. Linda says, hi, Kenny. Hi, Linda. I think you're drinking. Pretty sure Linda likes to drink. Moonshine girl. Chuck Sanders says, I just messaged you a picture of my farts. That's why you don't get on my show, Chuck. Ted says, I have an answer for you. This is the second time I've heard it on your show, and I would like to answer the questions. Answer what questions? I don't know what you're talking about. I have an answer for you. This is the second time I've heard it on your show. I'm not sure what you're talking about. So clarify, and then we'll get back to this. So Bob says, put a pick up on the I Am Kenny Biddle page. It's nothing really, but still cool. It's cool cloud formation. Let me see what we got here. You put it on you're all seeing my page. Oh my goodness. You're seeing my secret messages and shit. I don't know. How do I get to what posts from other people? I'm on the dark mode, so I'm like, I don't know what to do here. Let's see. I don't know. Oh, visitor view. No, that's not it. I'll have to see if it pops up. Wait. Oh, wait. There. I can go there. Notifications. That'll help. Come on. Show me. Oh my God, that's me. So I don't think that's working. So I'm going to have to see if I can pop up the picture from somewhere else. Oh, wait, here it is. Okay. I can do it. Let me see. Put that back up. Oh, no. I want to do it this way. There we go. It says, okay, Biddle, explain this UFO, heavenly gate in the sky. Okay. It's just a cool cloud. Understand. That's my Google. It says, just a cool cloud pattern I took a picture of, but this is an example of how people can misinterpret what they see in the sky. I agree. I mean, that's a pretty cool shot. That looks really cool. Just like that. And if you posted that, you probably would get a lot of people saying something, like maybe heaven's taking a whole bunch of people at the same time. I don't know. But yes, I can totally see how somebody would misinterpret that. That is a pretty cool pattern. I like that. Especially you got these little light rays coming in here, which is really odd. That's cool. I like that. Thanks for sharing. Let's see. It is full spectrum. Oh, Ted's answering the question. Okay, let's see. I gave the interstate pick. I think it's gone forever. Oh no, Bob. I'm sorry. You lost some pictures. That sucks, dude. I hope you find it. I hope it's there somewhere. You just haven't found it today. Darren, the dark is for intrigue and ooky spooky time. And you can make more assumptions because of lack of data. Exactly. That's how it usually goes. Because that's one of the worst things you can do is turn out the lights, get in the dark. Because I mean, for the most part, we rely heaviest on our sight to see things. And when you're put in a situation, I think we talked about this last week a little bit. When you're put in a situation, an environment that you're unfamiliar with, and then you take away your sight, which is probably your most prominent sense, you're relied on hearing and maybe smelling, except for Chuck that likes to do fart pictures. But you're relying on these senses in the dark in an unfamiliar place. So you're not accustomed to what normally goes on. So there's all kinds of weird stuff and assumptions are going to be made. And unfortunately, that's anomaly hunting. That's part of it. So you're going to have a lot of problems with that. Thank you for that, Darren. Appreciate it. Justin is active tonight. Good to see you here, buddy. Glad you dropped by. Let's see. He says the shift of pink to purple color is caused by the auto white balance, not knowing what the fuck to do. Well, you know what? I've done it with other settings too. I've changed the let's see. I've changed the white balance, but I've also changed ISO. I've also changed aperture settings. Depending on the camera. Not all the cameras did it, but when I would change the aperture setting, it would give me a different color, which was weird. Don't ask me. I haven't delved into it that far, but the first camera that I got to modify was actually already modified. It had a visible light filter in it, so it would only take in the IR and UV, but it still would give me different color schemes depending on what aperture I set it at. So wide open, I'm not going to venture to guess because I don't remember exactly. But one way, like wide open, would either be the pink, or the purple, the deep purple, and the other end would be the other one. So it was weird. I don't know. Let's see. Chuck Sanders. Oh, should I even bother? I'm kidding, Chuck. I believe it was fast motion on the camera. This often happens to me when I accidentally hit the photo button. Definitely motion blur. Oh, with that other picture, that JD sent. Let me see if I can bring that back up. That was fast motion. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're probably thinking like, oh, what if that? Let me see if I can pull it back up. So are you referring to this right here, like being fast motion? That could, if something was stuck up there, but see, the reason I'm going with it's likely a solid object is because I'm looking at where the light is for the this IR light, which I'm pretty sure was being used, and it's a circular pattern. So it's kind of right here. It's diminishing as it gets lower and out of frame, which is the same that we see up here. It diminishes. Same we see over, like from here, we got the hotspot. This is where the light is concentrated, and then it falls off on the side. So that's why I'm going more with a solid object rather than a fast-moving object, if this is what you're talking about, of course. And also because we already know it's a long shutter speed because of the motion blur. And they're using probably UV light. I would say UV probably instead of IR, because it has that more of a UV tone to it. But I don't think, if this was a fast-moving object, I don't think it would appear as solid as it does here, because I don't think it would have enough time to reflect enough light, this whole strand here. So, again, I don't know if that's exactly what you're talking about, but let's see. Hey, Josh. What's up, buddy? Let's see. Jason was going to mention Huff, but I didn't think I was allowed to mention him. Oh, come on. I'm wearing a Zach Baggins shirt. I mean, of course, it's making fun of him, but I'm still wearing that. So, you can mention that stuff, and we can totally ridicule him, because I don't think that guy is, honest. So there. Josh says, yeah, I have a question. On a scale of one to Hasselhoff. How do you think the recent claim from the Pentagon is about the UFO reveal? Would it be a 9 in a half? Wow. Well, considering that all the videos that you're referencing there have all been thoroughly explained to the best of our ability. If you want, go over to Mick West. He pretty much does this. He is my equivalent to UFOs. As what I do with ghost hunting, he does with UFO sightings. So I would go over to Mick West at metabunk.com. Check it out. He's got video demonstrations. He's got long explanations. He does good work. He does really good work on deconstructing these videos and using the information on screen, using props, using actual gimbals, and showing you exactly what's going on. So go to him. Check it out. Really good information. Let's see. Oh, Linda Atwood, you confirmed that you are drinking. That's awesome. Proud of you. Ted Vanson says, why investigators investigate at night and we do investigate during the day? Oh, yeah. So I don't know why. I mean, most of them, because of my work schedule, I can't do anything during the week. So weekends are my only opportunity to actually do extracurricular activities. So when I do find it necessary to investigate some claims, not just ghost hunt, because I don't do that. When I investigate certain claims, I do so during the day. There's no reason, unless the claim specifically says something happens at night, there isn't a reason to go at night. So that's important. That's important to keep in mind, because if a claim specifically states that it only happens at night, that's when you have to go, because that's when the claim, that's the detail of the claim. But if it's a general claim that people see things all times a day, if they get up in the morning, they see an apparition, then there's no harm in going in the morning, especially since that's part of the claim. Let's see. Oh, man, I love the Hasselhoff meter. That's great. Everybody's talking about that. That's great. Oh, my God. Let's see. Wasn't there a thing about Alexa being all spooky at one point? That was Jason. Yes, they had a thing where it was activating on certain commands that weren't just, hey, Alexa. It was going on different things. And I think that it was a software glitch, too. So I haven't heard anything lately. That was months and months ago that I heard that happening, going on, but I never experienced it myself. I saw the videos people posted, but I haven't heard anything since. JD says, sent you another one. Again, there's not much said except they refer to it as an anomaly. Okay, so let's shrink up so you don't see all my messages from other people. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. JD sent me another one. Thank you. The commentary from one of us will notice the light anomaly. All right. So let's see. Boom. There we go. There we go. I'm going to take your comment off. And we're going to look. It says from the top, it actually says, notice the light anomaly. Thank you, Trista, for sending this photo from the investigation. Notice the light anomaly coming up from the seat. Oh, my God. This thing? Wow. So that's not what I want to blow up. Let's see. Blow this up. Oh, it's not going to blow it up any bigger. Sorry. But there is a strand right here, if you see that. That's a strand of light. I'd love to be able to get into this a little bit more, because sometimes that's hair. And I'd like to enhance this more to see if it actually comes down here. Especially because it's the way this is. Let me see if I can mess with this a little bit more, because it's in a portrait mode, which means that when you take your phone, this is portrait mode, this is landscape, so it's taken in portrait mode. So I don't know if they were maybe like this, and when you do this, Your hand is by the lens, and the little fingers on your hair, on your finger, the little hairs, god damn, the little hairs on your fingers sometimes go in front of the lens. I'm seeing the reason I'm bringing this up is because the flash went off. I see that the flash went off because I'm seeing the reflections here on the seats. So this is telling me that the flash likely went off. And I'm also seeing this, I don't know what exactly it's called, but it's like a glare. It's like a reflection of the flash off an object that's nearby. You get this, if you see in the area right here, it's very grainy, but it's much lighter than the rest of this picture. And that tells me that's when you're like next to a wall and the flash bounces off the wall and reflects right back at the lens, and it creates this lighter area of the image. So this happens sometimes if you're holding the camera like this, and the lens is on the bottom and your hand is in the way and the flash goes off and it hits your hand and comes back at the lens, and it creates that lighter area. I don't know if that's what exactly what happened because we don't see anything else here. This is a very small strand. It looks like hair, but again, I'd have to enhance it a little bit more to see if it actually comes down out of the picture, because I don't think that's it. That's the whole picture. Or it could be simply it could be something on the lens, which I doubt, because it looks like it was reflecting some of the light, a little bit of light. So to me, that's probably maybe like a fiber, because we're dealing with all these seats, we're dealing with carpet, we're dealing with a lot of stuff. So it could be dust and like a piece of fiber that floats in. I call them floaties, but they float in the air and they're bigger than dust particles because they're longer, and they look like little fibers, which would reflect a little bit of light and possibly create that kind of thing. I don't think this is, when this description says light anomaly coming up from the seats, and that gives the impression that it's some kind of paranormal thing, and to me it's not. It's just it looks like they reflected light off of something that was very close to the lens, because it's also blurry. It's not sharp focus. It's out of focus. When it's out of focus, that tells me it's either too close to the lens or pretty far away. And because the sharpness of everything else in the photo, it's telling me that this thing is pretty close to the lens. So good picture. Thank you. Let's see. Chuck Sanders. I'm a top fan. Oh my God. You are. Chuck Sanders is my #1 stalker. Darren says hair. Yes. I'm kind of agreeing with you. Chuck clarifies on the last picture that JD sent, not the object moving, the camera itself, accidental bump. That could be. But unfortunately, going back to that other picture, full spectrum, quote unquote, full spectrum cameras are notorious for long exposures. So almost any picture you take with them, unless it's on a tripod and you use a remote, and even then, if you have the mirror up and you're taking it like a snapshot in video mode, you're going to get some kind of fuzziness. And there's also the problem that because when you modify these cameras, you have to modify them in a certain way or they will appear fuzzy, because visible light is a different wavelength. The wavelengths are shorter than infrared. So the longer wavelengths of infrared will fuck it up. It fucks up the clarity and the focus. So you're gonna get fuzzy photos anyway. So lot of information here. This is good. It's a good night. Woo! What time is it? 9:30. Oh man, we got like an hour to go. Josh says, excellent. Thank you, Kenny. I always love stopping by. You can use my 0 to Hasselhoff scale anytime. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it. Appreciate the scale. I love it. I love the profile picture. That's awesome. Oh, damn. I jumped ahead again. Darren says, investigate the claim, not the haunting. Exactly. That's a great great point. You know, investigate the claim. See what's actually being said about it. What's happening? What are the people claiming actually happens? Get all the details that you can from that, and then investigate the claim. Not, you know, don't go in there. See, don't go in there investigating everything or thinking that you're, you know, there's ghosts and that no matter what you do, you're going to get something. Because that's a lot of work for nothing, I really think. And we've talked about this before. You know, most of the ghost hunts turn into stakeouts. You know, you're sitting around waiting for something to happen. And if the claim actually states that it only happens during the day, you being there at night probably won't see anything or experience anything. But follow the claim, you know, get the details of the claim and try to recreate the environment of that claim, or be there for the details that are in the claim. Be in the right room, be in the right the time, be there at the right time, and follow what the details of the claim say, and see what happens. You might find that it's like a neighbor that's in the adjoining house that is influencing these like sounds that they hear, the ghostly sounds. You might find that it's certain people that drive down the street at a certain time and it creates shadows. You might find all these logical, natural explanations for weird things that happen. Because when you're home, especially the last couple months where most of us have been home for a long time, you know, home much more than we're usually home. You're home at times where you're not usually home. So therefore there's things going on that you might not, you know, be used to. And it might seem freaky. It might seem weird or strange. So investigate the claim. That's good advice, Darren. Really good. JD wants to clarify. I'm not singling this group out. I just pulled this from the public Facebook. And yeah, I mean, that's not, we're not bashing people. We're not, you know, saying these people are stupid or anything like that. You saw a picture, you were curious about it, and that's what this show is about, you know, tonight. You know, if you didn't know, let's talk about it. Let's put a picture up there and talk about it and see what we can come up with. I mean, I look at the comments and, you know, you see like people like, oh, this is great. You know, great job. Good shot. Great catch. Oh, that's a catchphrase for ghost hunters. Apparently, great catch. I hate that phrase. So let's move on. Justin chimes in. From a psychological perspective, our interpretation of weird noises, poorly lit areas, and unfamiliar places trigger the fight or flight responses in the brain that sets the scene for many reports of paranormal phenomenon. It was the few things that I have witnessed in a well-lit room during the day that has me still hunting. That's not a question, but it's a good statement. I mean, I agree with the part you're talking about. I mean, our interpretation of any weird stuff, whether it be a noise or something visual, or even be the sense of being touched, can freak somebody out, especially when you're in unfamiliar territory. If you're walking around a basement of like a mansion during a ghost hunt and you feel like you're touched in the dark, it sounds kind of kinky. It could be as simple as cobwebs from the ceiling. And that's happened to us. That's happened to me and my wife. We went to White Hill Mansion, and she walked around. She freaked out, going like this, like, oh, something like touching my hair. And, you know, we shine a flashlight, and there's cobwebs in her hair. So something as simple as that can be the explanation. What happened during the day? I'm not trying to take away from it, but even things that happen during the day could have a natural explanation for it. It doesn't mean that just because things happen during the day that automatically, you know, like, oh, it must be. And that's not what you're saying. I know. But just because it's during the day doesn't mean that takes out like plausibility that it's not haunted. It just gives us a better view of what's going on. And sometimes a different set of eyes or different set of ears or different ideas will help solve a mystery. So I'd like to hear more about your daytime experiences, and maybe we can talk about them. I think you're going to Gettysburg, right? You're going to go into the bash, so we can hook up and talk out there. There, check your messages. What are you sending me messages for, Ted? Oh my God. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out where my messages are here. Let's see. Ted. Oh. We do investigate night. Oh, you're trying to explain things. Don't explain things to me separately, privately when I'm doing a show. I'm trying to pay attention. I'm going to read stuff out loud. He says we do investigate during the day. If it happens at night, then it usually happens during the day. Most of us are not home because of work unless you have a security system. So unless you're recording, you won't know what's happening during the day. That's a good point. That is a good point. Because if you don't know what's going on during the day and you're suddenly home all week, weird things are going to happen. It's something else to get adjusted to. All right. So moving on. Dun, dun, dun. Justin, referring to the pic of the theater, the portrait orientation may cause an awkward grip on the camera, causing a hand or figure. Oh, yeah, there you go. I got to catch up. I really do. Let's see. Oh, that was 9:25. Wow. So that was like almost 10 minutes ago or 8 minutes ago. So yeah, good. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Let's see. Chuck says, yes, I have had wind ruin exposure of photos. Any movement will do that. I agree. Yeah. I mean, any movement at all. And when I know I'm doing a long exposure, I try everything. I wait. I put weight on my tripod, to keep it steady as possible. I use a remote. Sometimes I use a timer. If I don't have the remote, I'll set the timer just so I don't touch it, and the only movement you really have is if you're using a mirror camera, the mirror lockup, when it goes up. But other than that, yeah, I don't touch it at all because any movement will cause it. And depending on how much time you're putting into it too. If you're doing like a quick long exposure, it'll show up a lot more. It'll be much more noticeable. Jason says it's 2:30 in the morning here. Oh, are you over near UK? What time is it there? I have my, let's see. Oh yeah, it is. It's UK. I have my computer clock set up so different time zones so I can check it. Because my friend Karen lives over in the UK, and Beth Darlington, she lives over there. So I keep track of that so when they can join in. Hey, Carol, how you doing? The text of what you are saying is lagging way behind, rather confusing. Sorry, Carol. I try to keep up on the text. What text? Are you seeing subtitles? If you're seeing subtitles, then you have to, that's something on your phone or what you're viewing on, and you control that. I don't control that at all. So if that's what you're talking about, if you're talking about me keeping up with the comments, then that's my fault. I try to keep up with them. I really do. But I go off on tangents, as you probably have seen, and I get behind. But the closed captioning is something that Facebook introduced recently. So you actually have to go into the settings. Like for me, I had to go into the settings, find it, and it was on, but I actually had to turn it on or turn it off and then turn it back on and turn it off again. I don't know. That's just worked with my phone, but then it finally worked. So yeah, I can't stand the closed captioning. Because it gets in the way a lot of it covers up the comments and stuff. And if there's 3 of us on, then it covers up the third person that's on the bottom. So Justin says, one of the things I witnessed with my now wife was a penny levitating off a VCR and flipping once before landing very carefully back down where it once was. Pennies would also fly across the room from out of nowhere randomly. These events would happen weeks or months apart. I can share more things with you at the bash. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I'm assuming you probably don't have video since it sounds like it's very random and there's a lot of time in between this happens. Where are the pennies? like when it's I guess when it's on the table, like where wait, it says penny levitating off a VCR. So it was on a VCR. Interesting. And flipping once. See, that's cool, and it's frustrating at the same time. And I'm sure you share that kind of feeling, because it's like, it's cool because I would love to see it, and it's frustrating because we likely can't, because you probably don't have video of that. And it would just be cool. Does this happen in your home? Can I come visit? I would love to come visit and see what's going on. Oh my God. So this has been pretty good. 9:30. We still have some time. But it is Friday night. So if I don't have questions, I might cut it early. Let me think. We'll see. Let's see. Oh, Jason says Karen. Yeah. Bristol girl with the mouth of a sailor. Fuck yeah, she does. Holy crap. But I love her. She's so funny. I love talking to her. Very, very cool. Oh, man. All right. So I'm going to get into some of the things that I have, my general announcements. And we'll get through them. And if more questions come up, I'll definitely address them. Let's see. I want to say that Friday nights I do this usually for about 2 hours, give or take. And we do the Q&A. Saturdays, we do Three Tortured Souls. That's another podcast that I'm part of with Tim Vickers and Dave Schumacher. It's usually 8 p.m. on Saturdays. There will be no show this week because one of us has plans with family. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back the week after. If you haven't already and you're into t-shirts, visit my Teespring shop. It's under Scientific Skepticism. If you do a search for that, you'll see my my t-shirt designs. I have a whole bunch of them, and that should lead you into other things. I have a Candy Adventures shop, and I have a paranormal shop because I search for ghost hunters and stuff that are cute. Let's see what else I have. I have my YouTube channel is under Kenny Biddle. And if you look that up, I have videos. I have all my live feeds, and I also have independent videos up there about like taking apart gadgets and showing you what's inside and addressing other paranormal topics, which is really cool. What do we got here? Let's see. Justin says, this happened years ago before I investigated or was into the paranormal. No video. All the spectacular shit happened to me years before I got into ghost hunting. Ain't that the case? It's always the case. He says, I just want to know what the fuck that was. I also have a crazy story about what my first son said to me when he was 2. We will get into it more about when we get into Gettysburg. We'll get into that more. I'll be there all weekend so we can hang out and talk. So let's see. I want that show. I don't know what you're talking about there. Let's see. JD says, what's that handbook for photographic investigation? You can see that? Oh, my goodness. That is my recommended book of the week. I love that. I should have like a little video that plays like, recommended book of the week. So I will get, let's see. Oh, Darren says, on the back of your tee from Baggins Museum, does it say the back? It sucked. It should. So I will get to this. This is great. Thank you for reminding me, JD. My recommended book of the week is Camera Clues, a handbook for photographic investigation. Now, let me explain a little bit about this. This is by Joe Nickell. He wrote this as one of my mentors. Joe Nickell has been investigating paranormal claims for 51 years. He's been doing it professionally, like full-time. This is his actual full-time job that he's been doing stuff like that. He's well known for not only photographic analysis, document analysis too. He's done a lot of shit from authenticating letters, I believe from George Washington or Lincoln. He also helped with trials of Nazi criminals, war criminals, with documentations to prove who they were or were not. Done a lot of work. And this book is This is from, let me see, my cheat sheets. It's from 1994, but it's still relevant. It deals with a lot of film. It gives you the history of photography and also goes into a lot of analysis of old film, which is still relevant to us because we do look at old pictures. There's a lot of old pictures. I mean, hell, how many ghost photo books have you seen that doesn't feature like the Brown Lady of Raymond Hall or the Tulip Staircase ghost or stuff like that? There's a lot of old stuff out there. And in addition to that, there is a lot of information about just looking at details in the photos in this. This has helped me a lot, immensely. I mean, details in photos such as like if you see a clock, like a clock tower, look at what time it is. You can search and see where the sun was, what kind of shadows. And then you look at the shadows off of other buildings to see what time of day. Does it correspond? Are the shadows right? It goes into how old photos were actually merged together to make 2 or 3 photos that actually brought together. And I know Ted's going to freak out, but this book is so good that somebody else, took it upon themselves to plagiarize an entire chapter, the first chapter of this, not only once, but twice in their book, in their books. And then when this certain person ghost wrote for somebody else, they decided to plagiarize it a 3rd time. That's how good this book is. Yes, the first chapter of this book will appear in other books that have that talk about ghost hunting and photo stuff, like all the stuff you see highlighted, plagiarized directly, word for word, out of Joe Nichols' book. That's how good this book is. So I don't think I have to press that any further, but that is my recommended book of the week. So that has helped me a lot of details, a lot of information, and I've learned a lot from that book. So if you're interested, you probably find, I don't know if it's still in print, but you should be able to see it on Amazon and eBay, but definitely worth the read. Absolutely worth the read. Let's see. I do have some other comments that came up. This is great. Let's see. Please go check out the WLFE. Oh, WLFE DB is pimping their stuff. Awesome. 3 Tortured Souls. We're going to have to talk to the other guys. I think we're still chilling. I don't know what we're doing yet. So we'll see. I'll talk to them. We can talk later. Let's see. Darren says, Joe is a well-known Ed Warren smasher. Yes, because Ed Warren was a dick. I know that's probably mean because he's not around anymore to defend himself, but he was a dick. Jason, what's the biggest paranormal claim you've seen that turned out to be not even paranormal? Oh, wow. That's a good one. What biggest paranormal claim turned out to be not paranormal? Most of them. Well, probably I would venture to say the Dybbuk Box. The Dybbuk Box is pretty famous. I'm sure everyone's watching has heard of it, and it's out there. I started researching that because I saw it come on TV, and it was part of a certain museum that's not haunted. So I did research and found out that the item, which was allegedly a Jewish wine cabinet that came from Spain, that was acquired by a Jewish woman that escaped a concentration camp after her entire family was murdered. I came to find out that the Dybbuk Box was actually a 1950s era minibar that was produced in New York and sold in New York. And I have one. It's behind the monitors here. I'm not going to get it out right now because it's full of liquor. I actually have, like, it was a full minibar that you would buy with decanters and shot glasses and highball glass. So I have 4 of them, 4 shot glasses, and then 4 decanters inside. that are marked. I think it's whiskey, vodka, and then 2 other things. But the vodka is actually filled with vodka. The other 3 are filled with rum because rum. But that's probably the biggest paranormal claim lately. Of course, somebody claiming to write a book and didn't. That's probably another paranormal claim, but we won't get into that too much more. Oh, Tammy says she sent some pictures. Let me see here. Yes, there are. Let's see. And she says, oh, I don't. Let me see what's going on here. There's pictures 1, 2, and 3. Let me take a quick look before I show them to you guys to see what I'm looking at. Okay. All right, so I'm going to share this. Boom. Let me get out of there. So this is picture 1, picture 2, picture 3. And it looks like the center changes, obviously. And she wants to know what's going on here. So I guess looking back and forth through these, right up here, it looks like there's a hole maybe in the ceiling. I'm not sure. I can't be sure because I don't see any other shadows. But I am seeing shadow here from the flash, from either a flash or another light. There's a shadow here. These are called hard shadows, if you can see them. This is probably more prominent and more obvious to everyone watching. These are called hard shadows, and that's happened when you have a harsh light, like from a flash, and it hits an object and causes this hard shadow to come down because it has a hard edge, a very straight edge. Instead of doing like a soft, like if you have a diffuser on it, diffuser on your flash, it softens the light so you don't get as hard. It's not very dark, and then a straight line, and then nothing. So when I go through these pictures, I am seeing a change in the light all around. Because if you look at this pillar right here on the right side, you can see that the light changes, and this pillar too. So this pillar actually it's washed out because it looks like there's a flashlight on it, and you can see the shadow behind it here. The next picture, this is washed out. The shadow is now gone on this one. This is not washed out anymore. And then this picture, it's not here. This looks a little bit more washed out than the other one. No, actually, it looks the same as the previous one. So what I see here is that somebody was not only using the flash, but someone was also using a flashlight, and probably a visible light flashlight, like a regular flashlight, and just shining it around. And that's why you get the different darknesses back there, because it's illuminating different parts. So you're going from the flashlight being on, pointing at one side over here. Oh, wait, to you guys, it's over here. And then coming here and then out. So that's my assessment of that. That's a quick assessment just based on what I see. That's 3 pictures. That's actually pretty cool. I mean, you had 3 pictures to go. But because of that flashlight, which is very obvious in the images, I would blame that for your differences in the pictures. So let me get back here, click out of this so I can see what's going on. These were taken with 35 millimeter with a flash. Okay, so yeah, it was with a flash, but there was definitely another light source going on there, because you have the same views, but you have a light source that's creating shadows at a different angle, the angle that the camera cannot create. So awesome. Good pictures. Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate it. Let's see. What? I'm trying to catch up with some of these. Teddy. Talk with Teddy. Oh, Talk with Teddy. Totally pimping his show. How many claims have you looked into that you can't explain? That's a good one. I don't have a definite number, to be honest with you. I don't have a definite number because I haven't actually recorded everything. I mean, I have stacks of notebooks that has notes on pretty much every investigation I've ever done. But to ballpark it, I would say there's probably, I don't know, there's a handful. There's a handful that I couldn't explain. Probably more than that, because even the little ones, I mean, when you're talking about claims, it's in any given day, I can be presented like one claim. I can be presented 20 claims in one day. So I try to look at all of them. I try to get as much as I can, information as I can, and try to give a logical explanation, but I can't always do it because mostly the number one reason is I don't have enough information. And that's the plain truth. I mean, if you don't have enough information, you can't come to a legitimate conclusion. So therefore, sometimes I'm forced to say, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And I can't help until I get more information. And it's usually not forthcoming, sadly, because either there's a lot of time has passed. The person that's presenting the claim can't get back there. They don't know anymore. People that they've talked to, the witnesses aren't available. There's a lot that can go wrong. So I can't give you an actual number, but for me, there's probably quite a few that I haven't explained. And I don't feel bad about that. I don't feel, weird about it. It's just lack of information doesn't allow me to solve it. So there you go. Thank you, Ted. Appreciate it. Amazon, 26-ish bucks. I don't know what that was for. But, I mean, $26, I can buy it. Darren, Warren was beyond defending. I hope that's sarcasm. Let's see. Oh, Jason said, Ed Warren is a swear word to me. I'll even go as far as saying they were modern day snake piss potion peddlers. I'm right there with you. I agree. AutoCAD adjustment. JD says, I've suggested a picture of all the bottles from the Skeptical Help Bar that says these are only spirits I believe in. You're right. So yeah, I can do like these bottles right here. I can put them on on a t-shirt. That would be cool. Let's see. Tammy talks about the pictures we looked at. This was an abandoned hospital. Jim saw a flash of light. That is why he took the pictures. We actually all saw the dark mass coming at us. Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you because it's probably dark and it was probably, and I'm not trying to I'm just going to say what I'm going to say. Because it's a dark environment already and the flash was being used, it creates a visual optical illusion with you because the flash goes off. There's already a flashlight being used because it's pretty obvious in the shot. But when the flash goes off, it overloads your cone cells and rod cells, and causes you to see. You're gonna see an after effect. It's an after image that it happens. So the darker images will appear darker. I don't know what else happened in the experience, and unfortunately, it's what you're going to tell me is going to be anecdotal, and I'm not going to be able to really do much with it. But from the pictures, we have a good explanation based on the other light source that was used. So I don't know how far I can go with that, except that you can go back and if you can get back into this place, which I don't know if you can because it looks in pretty bad shape. But if you can go back there at the same time, this is actually what should be done. Go back and replicate the same environment, the same conditions, replicate it, same time of day, same flashlight, whatever light was being used, shine it on the same pillars, set the camera up, take printouts of these pictures and set the camera up, the same camera in the same position and recreate this whole environment and see what happens. You might get these pictures again. You might not. I don't know until we we figure it out until we go back and actually do it. I don't know if that's a possibility, but that's what I would suggest you do, because that's the best thing that's actually the best thing you can do to help figure out what's going on. Let's see. Darren says the camera is always adjusting to inconsistent lighting conditions. Exactly. And there's different settings on the camera where it will take like a pinpoint reading, or if it'll look at the entire scene, or just a partial scene. Because there's, depending on when you look through the viewfinder, there are dots usually, or squares or rectangles in the viewfinder that you'll see, or on screen, that it will look at that area. And depending on what settings you have, and I believe I think the default setting is usually like a wide range, but you can have like all these areas covered or just one area covered, where it will adjust to the lighting in that one area or the entire area. And that makes a big difference on the images that you get. 35 millimeter. Yeah, it would still be the same. Depending on the camera being used, that is something you have to consider. CJ, hey, what's up? Nice profile. I like that. I like that a lot. Are you planning to come over to the UK? If so, would love you to come to a location I manage. It's quite famous too. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Right now, I don't have any plans on coming over. We're trying to get through this lockdown thing first, because we're still in it. We're kind of on the end of it, I think, unless it gets worse. But we're not doing any traveling right now, and I right now I don't have any plans on coming over to the UK unless something comes up. I mean, if there's a big convention, it would be awesome to have, like, they want a skeptic to come over and they help me, get over there. That would be great. But unfortunately, no, I don't have any plans right now. But I'll keep you in mind, because I would love to come. I'm willing to come out to any place, that I can afford, or, if you help me. But I'm willing to come out to any place, stay overnight, see what's going on, investigate the claims, really take a hard look at the claims. And that's what I do. I take a hard look at the claims, not just, sit around and do the typical ghost hunt. I really look at this stuff, the details. And I mean, my questions can get really annoying, but I have fun. So I hope you will too. But thank you for that question. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, Tammy. No, the place is now condos. Oh, that sucks. Because now you can't recreate anything. You can't go back and check. Oh, man. That's something I would suggest. I mean, for future reference, anytime that you immediately see an anomaly, try to recreate it, because that's really the best thing you can do. Jason, we should set up a GoFundMe for getting the grace that you get with his presence. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I appreciate that. That's great. That's one of the awesome compliments that I really treasure, when people say stuff like that, because it really means a lot to me. Awesome. Aperture or shutter priority? Aperture, shutter. I don't know what I'm not sure what you're talking about there, but you're probably talking about somebody else or a different conversation. Our country went green today. Oh, good. Our county went green today. Good. I'm in the Philly area, so I don't think we're going to be in the green for a while yet, but we're still trying. I'm still working. I'm still getting out there. So, oh well. Oh boy, this has been fun. I think I am going to wrap this up a little early, just like a half hour early, because I've been working on a secret project that I mentioned in the very beginning of the broadcast. There's a secret project that I've been working on, and it's been getting me up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and then working on that project until I go to work, and then coming home. Like today, I got home right before the show. So, long day. So I'm tired. Oh, but we have another question. I cannot deny another question. Dawn. Hey, Dawn. Kirkham. Oh, how are you? First time to the show? I don't remember seeing your name, or at least that logo. What's your thoughts on full spectrum? We've been talking a lot about full spectrum cameras tonight. We have. I don't think they're useful. I think they create anomalies, because when you modify them, you're modifying cameras that are calibrated for visible light. And when you take out the filter, if that's all you do is take out the cut filter, which there's a piece of coated glass that's inside. I used to have one. I used to have an example here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it, because I did have it. I don't think I have it. I had it like out. It's somewhere here, but it's a piece of coated glass that blocks UV frequencies from like I think it's like 740 and above, like 740 to 1200 nanometers, I think. Oh, excellent. Thank you, first time viewer. Awesome. So this cut filter, which is in every digital camera, cuts out a lot of the infrared spectrum. So when you take that out, it now allows that to come in. But these wavelengths are much different, so they don't come in as clear. The camera is not set for that. It's not manufactured for that, because it's manufactured to produce visible light pictures that we can interpret as real life. So with these longer wavelengths, it really screws up the focus on it. So you get a lot of blurriness. You get a lot of fuzzy pictures. And the camera is still looking at the visible light when it compensates and adjusts for the shutter speed, which is how long they take a picture. And that causes a problem, because full spectrum cameras are notorious for having long exposures. And you get anywhere from like a long exposure. It's weird, because it's like a subjective kind of thing, because normal exposures, I guess with the flash, usually I have an exposure time of like 1/30th to 1/60th of a second, depending on conditions. That's with a flash. And a long exposure to me is when you get into like a quarter second, third of a second, half a second, and then more, like 1 to 5 seconds, and so on. So when you're taking a lot of these full spectrum cameras, when I look at the photos and I look at the details on them, they give me the details like, oh, hey, this is like a half-second exposure, which doesn't sound like a long time, but it is. With photography, it is. Especially handheld, yes, it's a long time. And in that time, the camera moves, because you can't hold your hand steady. So you get this fuzziness that comes up. And I see that with a lot of full spectrum photographs. And then you also need that they're also used in darkness. So you need the help of UV or IR light, which causes other problems, because, depending on how the light is mounted, if it's handheld, all kinds of problems. So my thoughts on full spectrum cameras, they're novelties. They're definitely novelties. Is it this camera? This camera I modified. I did exactly that. I took out the IR cut filter. Now, if you put a visible light filter, which some cameras do, they replace the IR cut filter with a visible light filter, which filters out usually light between, I think, 400 and like 650 nanometers or 700 nanometers, which is the visible light range. Then you're only getting infrared light and a little bit of UV light, but you still have the same issues. It's still not calibrated for that kind of light, so you're going to have fuzziness unless you manually focus. Because I've run into that problem with this camera. I have to manually focus everything. But there's other issues. I don't think they're good sources. I think they're a novelty because they look cool. They take pictures at night in dark situations, and it just looks cool. You can get a lot anomalies. You can get a lot of anomalies with them, and it's it turns into the anomaly hunting, which we talked about in the beginning of the show a little bit. So I don't think they're a good tool. I don't think they should be used for ghost hunting, because I think most people that are using them as a novelty and don't understand how they work. So I hope that I answered your question. I hope you're happy that you dropped by, Dawn. I appreciate it. Coming by. Awesome. I hope your first experience with the Skeptical Help Bar was a pleasant one and happy one. Let's see. Tammy says, thanks for taking the time to look at pictures. Anytime, Tammy. I appreciate, you sending the pictures. And even if you don't agree, I mean, I do appreciate that you put them out there so we could talk about them and really take a look at them. So, I mean, sometimes it's scary. I understand, putting your stuff out there, especially with somebody like me, that's going to like bluntly take them, deconstruct them and see what's going on. So I appreciate it. I really do. Darren says, I'm out. Night all. Take it easy, buddy. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, Jason says, welcome, Dawn. Kenny is the man when explaining questions. Also a great sense of humor. Oh, man, you're so awesome. I love you guys. You're fun. Oh, and we drink, too. We drink. So it's like a requirement here that you have some kind of adult beverage, unless you're sick, like Jason. But you have to have an adult beverage. Hey, Jonathan Vanover. Awesome guy. He's the one that made this ghost. This one and this one. And he makes pretty cool ghosts, 3D printed ghosts. Flir will also pick up reflection off walls. Okay. Awesome. Good to know. Let's see. Please share. Oh, wait. Please share this page. WLFE DB. That is my radio network that I broadcast on. In addition to my I Am Kenny Biddle, I broadcast on there. It's a radio network run by Ted. And it's cool. I am the only skeptical show on the network. I'm pretty proud to say. They tolerate me. But it's fun. Ted's been great to work for. If you have a podcast and you're looking for a network, to join up, give him a shout. Talk to him. Dawn. Dawn says, I do have an interesting photo from a full spectrum. Maybe I will share it next time. Thank you for staying and answering the question. Not a problem. I mean, this is what this show is about. I love doing this. So if there's questions that come up, I will definitely stay to answer them. And feel free, Dawn, to you can message me if you go to my I Am Kenny Biddle page. Send me a message. Include the photo. Do me a favor. Include the photo and just say this is the photo that I was talking about, and let me look at it first, and then when I get back to you, then you can share the background information, because I always like to look at them without the information or the perspective of the person that took the picture. That way I can just look at it and look at the details, look at what I see from a photographer's point of view, and then come up with something. I can write it down and then, respond back and say, okay, what happened during this? And then we can compare notes. So awesome. I am very happy. We'll be back for sure. Woohoo! Winner! I love it. Love it. Oh, we don't have Tommy says we don't have a problem with you giving your opinion. I appreciate that. And that's all you get. That's what you expect when you come here. You guys have questions. I give you opinions. And we all drink and have fun and we get along together. So with that said, I am going to cut it off here, finish my announcements, and then we will get back to enjoying our Friday night, or for my friends in the UK, you can actually go to bed and get some sleep. So, as I said, every Friday I am here on this network, WLFE DB Radio Network, and I Am Kenny Biddle, broadcasting the Skeptical Help Bar, 8:30 to 10:30-ish every night. And let's see, what else? Saturdays, I do another podcast called Three Tortured Souls, which broadcasts 8 o'clock on the Facebook page under the same name, Three Tortured Souls. I also share it to my other pages, that I Am Kenny Biddle, my personal page. So there will be no show this week. We're taking a break. We have family plans. Some of us have family plans, so we're going to be back next week. If you are into t-shirts, you can't get this one because I made this myself and it's a logo that I can't use. But I do t-shirt designs. It's on Teespring under Scientific Skepticism. Pretty cool designs there. Check it out. You might find something you like, hopefully. I want to say that if you're organizing something, I'm feeling pretty buzzed. If you're an organizer of an event, a paranormal event or a skeptical event, and you're looking for like a skeptical point of view, and give me a call. I love taking part in events like conferences. I like taking part in discussion panels, lectures. I do lectures on like paranormal photography, how to explain them, how to figure them out, how to solve mysteries. I do one on that. So definitely pimping myself out. I like to spread information. I like to help out whenever I can. So give me a call. Or if you know an organizer that's looking for somebody like this, mention my name. I would really appreciate it and like to help out. On YouTube, check me out under Kenny Biddle. I have a lot of videos there. I upload my live videos. I also have different videos where I take apart gadgets. I address certain concerns like psychics, flashlight trick, and other videos up there. The Xbox Connect, I have a video on that. So look it up. I also have a different YouTube channel with my wife. It's called K&D Adventures dash Kenny and Donna. So it's K&D Adventures dash Kenny and Donna. That's our Facebook page. We have a YouTube channel in the same name, and we go out adventuring, just exploring different places, and we take video and we post it. So please get on there and subscribe, because we're looking to get 100 subscribers as soon as possible, because it unlocks other features that we can, take advantage of. So, and we also hide pins on our adventures. So we have special buttons that are only available if you find them. So we hide them during our adventures. And then if you follow our adventures and can get to the places that we visit and find it, then it's yours to keep. And it's only available through that. We don't sell them. We don't give them away. That's it. What else? The Gettysburg Battlefield Bash is July 24th to the 26th. That is the only event I have scheduled right now, because that COVID-19 bullshit fucking thing just canceled everything. Canceled my whole 2020 year. But it's getting back on course. So we'll be out in Gettysburg in July. Please come out and visit. I'll be setting up a physical skeptical help bar out there. I actually built one. So come on out, visit me, say hi. Let's see what else. Last thing is that next issue of Skeptical Inquirer, I have an article coming out that, it's an article / outline I did with Joe Nickel, who is the guy that, over here, the author of this book that I recommended this week. We did an article / outline on ghost photos, the history of ghost photos. And then I did an outline for it where like the most likely causes of different kinds of ghost photos. It looks really cool. I'm really proud of it. So it'll be out in the next physical print issue of Skeptical Inquirer magazine, which should be out next month, I think. Right. So it's May, so it'll be June. Pick it up. Let me know what you thought. I appreciate it. Oh, Bob says, I'm going to plug your K&D Adventures page. I am now just one video away from being caught up. Check it out and subscribe. Thank you very much. I have another video that's hopefully going to go up this weekend. I have a lot of work, a lot of projects going on. So I'm trying to edit another video. Everyone have a great night. From Tammy. Awesome. Night, everyone. Thanks, Dawn, for stopping by. Jason says, do you dispatch T-shirts to UK? All right, so if you go on the Teespring page and look up the Scientific Skepticism, yes, they do have UK prices. I think they do have printing shops in the UK, because that is part of the design process for the UK. So there should be distribution over there. So check it out. Let's see, or the T-shirt company. And Dawn says, I'm an organizer on Vancouver Island, Canada. Would love you to come over. I would love to come over. I love Canada. It's so peaceful. I've only been there once, and admittedly, it was Niagara Falls. So we've only recently, in the recent years, really got into traveling more and more, and I'd like to get up there. So, shoot me something, and we can talk. See what's going on. I would love to be part of events. I love giving my opinion, obviously, because I do a live show while I'm drunk, which tells you something. I'm also very blunt, and as Ted would say, Ted is the guy that runs the network. He hated me in the beginning. He didn't really like me in the beginning, but we got to know each other, and in person, I'm much different. I'm just a big teddy bear, I think. All right, so that's pretty much it. We wrapped it up. That's awesome. I'm glad we did that. Thank you, everyone, for coming in, stopping by, hanging out, asking questions, drinking with me, and just spending your Friday night with me. I appreciate it. And get out there, read some books, learn. Never stop learning. That's the big thing. That's the takeaway from this. And with that, I think I am going to shut down and get on with my Friday night. Stay safe. Never stop learning.